alongside Jovan Buha for Buha's Block and the one and only Christopher.
Hi, guys.
McGee. Hi.
You know what this is like?
What?
We're a little bit like the Lakers. Jovan, you're the LeBron of our crew right here.
I'll take that.
You're going to do what you do.
It.
Al, you're kind of like the Marcus Smart. You're the glue.
Oh,
like
I love that.
Highest plus minus, and I'm the others. And if I play well, we'll have a great show. Yeah, like if I do my job, we'll have a great show because you guys are going to do your jobs.
You know what we got here? A winning formula.
We got a winning formula.
What it matters
now
when it comes to winning a series. Now we just got to deliver.
Just like the Lakers did.
I thought we were peanut butter and jelly.
Ooh.
He's the bread.
You and I are all over the place.
All together. All right, enough of that. We dive in. The Lakers took Game 1 Saturday night on the shoulders of 41-year-old LeBron James. Surprise, surprise. 19 points and 13 assists. The 145th postseason double-double of his incredible career. He also added 8 rebounds. He also passed John Stockton as the oldest player to record a points-assist postseason double-double. Here's LeBron after the game.
I just think our composure. Obviously we're going against a well-coached, super athletic. They cause a lot of havoc. I think our composure, even when they made a run at the end of that second to cut the lead to 2, we came on that third quarter and was able to withstand that, pretty much play the game that we wanted to play. We had a great game plan and we tried to execute that as close to 48 as possible.
LeBron, you guys had all 5 starters in double figures, 29 assists. We've talked about this week how, without Luka and Austin, it'll be a collective. Just how much can tonight serve as a blueprint for what it's going to take for this series?
We don't have a choice. It has to be that way. It has to be a collective group. When you're missing so much firepower like we are right now with AR and Luka being out, we all have to pitch in. We all have to do our job and even do a little bit more, protect one another offensively and defensively, and I think we did that tonight.
I know you're not someone who really applies the term pressure to basketball very often, but Luke Kennard told us the other day he doesn't feel any pressure, and JJ Redick said that maybe it's freeing this position you guys are in going into this series, considering your backcourt, what they're going through. What do you feel like the kind of overall team spirit is or has been coming into this?
We just want to prepare ourselves the best way we can. I thought we had a great week of preparation, but we got to continue that. It's just one game. We protect the home court for Game 1, and we got to get better over the next 48 hours going into Game 2 on Tuesday. So, I thought we had just good spirit. Everybody was in tune with what we wanted to execute, and we tried to do that.
We're going to carry this right into top takeaways from Game 1. Jovan, we'll start with you, and LeBron. It's pretty good.
A LeBron James masterclass. 8 assists in the first quarter, which was a playoff career high for him in a quarter. Anytime, there's obviously the longevity stats with LeBron that he's going to continue to set and break just because he's playing so deep into his career. But anytime he can break his own records from earlier in his career, in his prime, in his 20s and 30s, that to me says a lot about his approach. And I thought he got everybody involved early. All 5 starters scored a few minutes into the game. And I thought you saw the best version of each of those players. And I think it was no coincidence that LeBron set the table, set everybody else up, and then progressively became more aggressive himself throughout the course of the game. And that third quarter drew a bunch of fouls, got the Rockets into the bonus, which allowed the Lakers to go to the free throw line 15 times in that third quarter. Offense was in the mud for a little bit, but they were finding easy points at the free throw line. Then the fourth quarter, several post-ups and either finding cutters or shooters or himself attacking with fadeaways, turnarounds, or scoring on the block. So just a masterclass from LeBron, and doing this 41 years old, age 20, as 23rd season, just insane.
You guys really are gelling out of the gate because of those 8 first quarter assists, 15 for the game, efficient offense.
Yeah, I think for me, I was just so impressed with how efficient their offense was. You're missing your top 2 scorers in Luka and AR, your top 2 in usage. And I said all week, how would the Lakers look? I know what it looked like against Golden State, Utah, and Phoenix, but how's it going to look against this Houston Rockets team? And they come out and they shoot 80% in the first quarter. They shot 61% from the field for the game. All 5 starters were at least 14 points or more. And I thought their game plan was brilliant. Listen, the ball was moving, 29 assists. You heard LeBron just talk about that. Also, less threes. They only shot 19. They made 10 of them for 53%. And Jovan and I were talking before the show. They made 5 in a row, basically, in that fourth quarter. So it was just on point. And I said all week also, I was talking about the first two games. They're going to have a great shooting game to win one of these first two games, and they had it right out of the gate.
How about just from the masterclass of LeBron James to just the overall brilliance of the game plan?
Yeah, I mean, he just said it. Like, he took the words out of my mouth. Brilliant game plan from the Lakers going into this week. And I think you contrast it with last year, where it felt like going into that game one, the Lakers weren't really ready for that moment. But as JJ said after the game to the group and to us, they met the moment. They were ready for it. And even with the curveball pregame, no Kevin Durant, and LA having to adjust their defensive game plan, because obviously a big portion of that was going to be, how do we stop Kevin Durant? How do we have these doubles and traps against him and then rotate out of that? Completely changed the defensive game plan with no KD there, and yet they were ready for that. So I felt at times the Lakers were playing chess and the Rockets were playing checkers, and we'll see how they come out in game two. But it did feel like a pretty lopsided strategic and tactical battle.
One thing's for sure, if you want to win a series, you better be playing chess, not checkers.
Absolutely.
Do you think anyone was ready for Luke Kennard's 27?
Luke Kennard is my second top takeaway. Listen, he's good at basketball, right? I mean, that's just a fact now. And anybody who wants to challenge that, you're just not watching. And I'm just happy for him on like a human level. What a baller this guy is. And you can come into this league, and this is any sport, and you can get labeled a certain way. You're a shooter, you're a glue guy, you're a role player, and he just plays what's asked of him. But I think what he showed in game one is that he is a legit hooper. Like, his high IQ, the way he uses the Nash dribble, his execution, his ability to create space, all of that has been on display. And he goes for 27 points, 5 for 5 from three, 9 of 13 from the field. And it kind of takes me back to those 4 games without Luka and AR. I think they prepared Luke Kennard for this, and he was ready in game one. He's a pro. He's been in this league, and he absolutely delivered. I was elated for him, but I think the whole world's seeing it now.
I say it all the time. Us Ohioans know. Top 5 scorer in the state of
by
Ohio.
the way, good quarterback,
Ahead
too.
of LeBron, by the way.
Ahead of LeBron.
Pretty good quarterback, too.
Yeah, not too shabby.
Right, but like it
Not too shabby,
just feel like to play
Athlete.
quarterback at a high level, and he was a great high school quarterback, you just have to have this ability to see things and see the field and execute and play under pressure. And he just doesn't look fazed by anything for me, like he's supposed to be in this moment.
Indeed. Let's take this time to see what the playoff brackets look like. Starting with the Eastern Conference after game ones finished up over the last 2 days. The Orlando Magic.
Orlando.
Stealing one in Detroit. They
Can't
have a
bully
1-0
ball them
lead
healthy.
over
Detroit
the
found that out.
Pistons. Cavs taking care of the Raptors. You got the Knicks finishing things off from MSG over the Hawks. And then the Celtics, well,
That's
they
beat
did what
down.
they should have done against the
Yeah.
Sixers.
Yeah.
Going from the East to the West. It's a little different. The Oklahoma City Thunder, well, they did what they were supposed to do against the Phoenix Suns. The Lakers, we know the story there. We'll continue to dive into that. A fun one in the 3-6 matchup. Denver taking game one over Minnesota. And then the Spurs, Victor Wembanyama, pretty special against Portland.
We call that chalk.
Yeah.
Right there. Favorites.
What'd you say?
Chalk. Favorites when the favorites.
None of the game ones were closer than 9 points. So they all were basically, double digits.
The only road team to win? The Orlando Magic. How about
Orlando
that? Let's begin going back to the Laker-Houston series. Kevin Durant, we're just going to start there. He's listed as a game-time decision for game 2. Guy, I'll start with you.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone had that on their bingo card as a storyline coming in. How surprised?
It's interesting because we had a show, an off-day show before the series started, and that news came out, but I don't think any of us thought he wasn't playing. We didn't know the severity of it, didn't know that he bumped knees in practice. So we were just as surprised as everyone when, 90 minutes before the game, everyone's walking around the newsroom saying KD is out. And to me, it changed the look of this series. And the Rockets were clearly more shaken than the Lakers. I mean, the Lakers adjusted, but the Rockets, to me, offensively, that became the story. Do they have enough offense to win this series? When I would flip that going into game one, do the Lakers have enough offense? Can they score enough points against this Rockets team? But without KD, they looked unorganized to me. I think they have to figure out who's their number one when he doesn't play. We thought they would run things through Şengün. He didn't have a great game. So this was a surprise, and I know we're going to talk about it later in the show. I expect him to play game 2, but knee discomfort is real. KD played, 78 games this year? Like, he wants to play in this series. So for him not to play in game 1, there was discomfort, and he just was not moving well, and you can't risk it. It's unfortunate, but I'm not convinced he's playing in game 2, although I think you have to prepare for him to be there.
And do you think the Lakers care about unfortunateness?
No, I mean, that's the thing.
It's a great point. It's unfortunate, but
you
they
take
got a
one
break from the basketball gods. Finally,
you take just their one top scorer off their team and look how it affected them. That's what's even more impressive about how the Lakers played.
Yeah, no, I mean, it reminds me of the season series between these two teams where that Christmas game was obviously rough for the Lakers, but then in the two matchups in Houston, that's when we started to see them trap and blitz KD, get the ball out of his hands, and Houston did a really poor job of capitalizing on those 4-on-3 and 3-on-2 opportunities. They're airballing wide open threes, they're turning the ball over, they're missing layups. And I thought LA found something there with the game plan of, like, if we can take KD out, they don't have enough guys who can create advantages and finish those advantages. You take KD out entirely, and like we just saw what that looked like for Houston, especially in that second half. It just what was a bit of a train wreck offensively for them, right? So I think this does dramatically change Houston's offense. They don't have, they can't turn to a LeBron James if you have Luka out, right? Or their version in KD. So it does compromise them to a degree that I just don't think they can score enough against the Lakers without KD. But if he comes back, it'll be interesting to see how LA approaches that. I think we'll see a lot of those doubles and traps and blitzes and daring them to make shots, daring them to make plays. And over the last 3 games against the Lakers, they haven't been able to do that.
To your point, so if he returns, things look a lot different for Houston, which I want to switch back to the Lakers side of things. A lot of talk after last season was JJ and his lack of preparation. His words, not ours. He was not pleased with how he went into that first round series versus Minnesota. What do you think of his game planning going in? We use game plan a lot. And maybe what's going to happen now.
So impressive, and I think Jovan hit on this with one of his top takeaways, and I'll just piggyback off of it. Listen, I think what we all love about JJ and what we've seen over these 2 years was on full display, right? From the moment he got here, and Trudell said this on the show the other day, and Jovan can back it up, when you are with a coach every single day and you listen to him talk, you get pretty impressed, or you can go the other way and be like, does this guy know what he's talking about? You don't feel that way with JJ. You know JJ knows what he's talking about. He is going to work. He is going to game plan. He's going to do all those things, and he's also going to hold himself accountable. So you got to give JJ and that entire staff so much credit, because he said it the week before the playoffs. I don't like the way we prepared last year before Minnesota, and it showed in game 1. They were more prepared and they were better heading into that game, and it set the tone for the rest of the series. The Lakers took this week seriously. You also got to credit Marcus Smart, LeBron James, of course. Leadership inside that locker room and from the coaching staff was the difference in game 1.
Yeah, I think a couple things that stood out to me. Offensively, they really targeted Reed Shepherd, Alperen Şengün, and Clint Capella. And I think those are the 3 weakest defenders within Houston's primary rotation that you can target. And with Reed, it was involving him in the pick and roll and trying to get switches and then get him in the post. With Şengün, it was testing his foot speed on the pick and roll with him in a drop coverage, and then similar thing with Clint Capella and his rim protection. So they targeted their weakest defenders and had a lot of success. And then Houston had to start to adjust and send more help, and then that's when you get guys open for threes, or you get them in the blender, as JJ likes to say. Then defensively, sending some random doubles at Şengün. There was one, send it along the baseline. He retreats and travels. Another one, they send it, then he throws the ball out of bounds. And you see, when you throw that kind of curveball at their ball handlers, they don't react and process at a high enough level, and you see them turn the ball over often.
And Jovan, remember when KD was in the game, when they played that 2-set series, the Lakers were blitzing him at half court. They waited until late in the fourth quarter, blitzed, and got a steal.
Yeah, against Reed Shepherd.
And then Jake got fouled.
And so I think just the Lakers were prepared for everything, and they knew who to help off of, who not to help off of. They packed the paint well, and I just think from an overall approach standpoint, I think it was a 10 out of 10 for game 1.
So the only question left, will Kevin Durant play for game 2, listed as game time decision? Reminder, next up for the Lakers is game 2 of the 7-game first round series tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. on NBC. Pregame is at 6:30 right here on Spectrum Sportsnet, plus full post game once the game goes final. Coming up on Access.